Welcome back to the Agent Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Kesnick. It is February, and I am super excited for something that I came up with and pitched to my team, and they are all on board, and we're really excited about it. And so today, I want to extend the invitation to all of you in an effort to help you springboard into the spring market and really start to ramp up your pipeline because we are about to hit the busy season. So stick around. Let me tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to explain everything that we're doing at the end of this episode. But first, I want to help you get into the right mindset in order to launch into this challenge. One of the things that I coach my team on is getting your engagements in. And I hammer that and hammer that and hammer that. And I don't always see my team jumping in and tackling their engagements like I wish that they would, because I know that that's how I built the business that I have. That's how I built a business that I love, is by really being good and intentional about my engagements. And I've always called them that, but what I've had is this shift recently that really helped me to understand why I sometimes get a little bit of pushback or resistance or limiting beliefs around engagements, all these things that I see agents that I am helping and coaching. I see their hesitation and I see their lack of accomplishment in this area of engagements. And so I had this aha moment, and I actually started to put it into action first. And then I shared it with my team, and it went very well. And now we are implementing it into this 30-day sprint that I'm going to talk about at the end of the episode. So basically, the shift that I had is that I recognized one day, as I am working on taking all thoughts captive in this new year. It's really something that I'm trying to do because I want to pinpoint the areas of my day that I lose time and energy and productivity. And so in an effort to do that, I'm sort of taking all of my thoughts captive. And one of the patterns I recognized as I've been doing this is that when I sit down for my hour of engagements every day, I start to go through this mental list of people and past clients or whatever it is. And what I realized is that I was doing exactly what I think that my team does. I just happen to have a bigger pool to pull from. And so it doesn't necessarily stop me, or it hasn't stopped me from still being able to get my engagements in just because I have this bigger pool, because I've been in the business longer. But it was very eye-opening to understand, like, oh my gosh, this is probably why my agents struggle with engagements, because I think that when we sit down and we have an hour in our calendar to do our quote unquote engagements, which is an absolute must in your business, in my opinion, I think so many people sit down and go through these lists of people with the question of who might need to buy or sell. And who might I get a response from? And then it sort of goes into, well, what should I say? And there's all these questions we ask ourselves and this whole process that's very deflating, honestly. And what I realized is that in the beginning of my business, I'm sure I've talked about this before. I talk about this all the time. Ignorance on fire, which has its pros and its cons. But that's how I started out in real estate. I had no idea that people would tell me no. I had no idea that everybody knew 7 real estate agents. I just knew that I was excited to start selling real estate and I wanted to get after it. And so what I did is I scheduled coffee appointments and lunch appointments, and I reached out to people, and I had kind of no fear. And now over the course of years of being told no and losing deals and whatever, you get a little bit of a broken trigger finger, is how I would describe it. And I think those doubts and those fears start to bubble up, and maybe you're thinking about somebody and you want to have some sort of engagement with them. And then you remember that they're sister-in-law is a real estate agent, and then you don't engage with that person. And that is the exact scenario today that I want to debunk and I want to help you shift because, well, for many reasons, but one of which, if for nothing else, is you always want to be working to be somebody's second real estate agent in line. If you can't be their first, if you're not their first, work at being their second, because I will tell you, agents are fleeing this industry like faster than you can say realtor. A huge percentage of agents not renewing their licenses year after year, especially now. There is so much fear. There are going to be people in your sphere of influence, people that you know that have a real estate agent who is going to drop out of real estate. And guess what? You want to be their next in line. You want to be the one that has still engaged, that has still reached out to them, that has still kept them in mind, that has still given them value and information about real estate. So if there's no other reason, keep that in mind, that we are always fighting for that number 2 spot in somebody's life as their second real estate agent that comes to mind. If you can't be, like I said, if you can't be the first, if you're not Crest, be Colgate, right? Because when somebody thinks of a real estate agent, they're going to think of one, and then they're going to think of a number 2, and you want to be that number 2. So if for no other reason, that's a great reason. But this is the more important reason, and this is what I really want to dive into today, is that I believe that it's energy out, energy in. I am very much a believer that what we focus on expands. I mean, you name the expression, and I believe it when it comes to this kind of stuff. And so what I realized in this aha moment I had is that it is not about engaging with people that could or would refer you or use you to buy or sell or invest in real estate. Now, when I put together a database, that's typically how I coach people to do it, is that you should build a database of people that could or would sell or buy with you or refer you real estate deals, right? But when we're talking about these engagements, we have to, just like when you're matchmaking for a buyer, you got to remove the criteria. If you're in an inventory like we are, which is super, super, super low, you have to remove some criteria and get creative. I would say you need to attack your engagements the same way. So remove all of those things and just think about it as my job for the next hour is to put love and light into other people's lives. Maybe they are dirt poor. Maybe they have nothing. And you know that there is no way that they're ever going to likely be buying or selling because they don't own anything. They're renting, they don't have a great job. Maybe they're a single parent or, something like that. And you know that they're just not somebody that's going to call you up and be like, hey, I'm ready to upsize, downsize, purchase my first home, none of that. And so I think a lot of us would remove them when in reality, they're the people that need the most love, that need the most support. And so the goal is not to spend an hour finding people that are ready, like with your crystal ball that shows you that they're ready to buy or sell, right? It's not about us sitting there and brainstorming the people that we might be analyzing that could be ready. Like, oh, I saw that they don't have their spouse in their profile picture. Maybe they're going through a divorce. I should reach out to them, right? It's not about that. It's about loving on people, loving on other humans, especially in this climate of our country. Everybody needs love. Every single person, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican, needs some love right now. And so look at this as using your platform of a real estate agent whose job it is to connect with people and to be in relationship with people. Like that's actually your job description. And while you're in these relationships with people, you happen to get a paycheck for helping them buy or sell real estate. But really your job is to be in incredible relationship with people and just shower people with love and kindness and help and value and all of these things. So instead of sitting down and thinking about who might need to buy or sell this year, or who's owned their house for 5 to 7 years because they might be ready to make a transition, it's about who needs love today. Who can I send good energy out in the world? And I want you to commit to this. Say yes to this, commit to it, and see what doing it for 30 or 60 or 90 days, see what happens. You literally have nothing to lose except maybe the cost of a few stamps every day. Because I'm telling you, when you put this good, positive energy out into the world, not only are you going to be vibrating at a higher level, like that is attracting to people, that's attracting business, is when you are vibrating at this high level versus when you are sitting at home thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't have any transactions. I have nothing impending. I have no pipeline. Like you're spiraling down into the ground. That's not going to get you business. That's going to get you fear, and that's going to probably get you a 9 to 5. So what this activity will do is it will get you vibrating way up on the top of that scale, because you're going to be feeling really good about putting sunshine into other people's gloomy days. It's addicting, and it feels good, and it puts us in a really, really good mood, right? So not only are you doing that, but you are literally sending all of that high energy out to 10, 15, 20 people, whatever your commitment is, every single day. And it doesn't need to look like an hour-long phone call with somebody who is struggling. It doesn't have to take more than an hour every single day. But it is, I would say, maybe not the fastest, but I would say the most rewarding and probably the most surefire way to build your pipeline over the next couple of months, especially at a reasonable expense, because like I said, it can cost you no dollars. It can cost you maybe a few stamps, which you can get they're expensive now, but for a couple of dollars, you can write a few notes to some people and get those engagements up. So I explained this to my team. I told them, I don't want you to think about your hour of engagements as this dreadful power hour that you have to engage with all these people and you have to send cringy, uncomfortable, awkward messages to people, which I have done. I literally sent a client one time asking them if they had any plans to do anything with their pile of equity. I'm like, oh my gosh, I look back, I'm like, if they never use me again, I will not blame them at all, because I don't think that there's a cringier thing that you can say to somebody. But I did that because I was looking at these engagements like, I need to get some responses. I need to send out some messages that will get me messages back saying, oh yeah, perfect timing, Mindy. I'm ready to sell my house. That's not how they work. It's just not. And so I've been there, I've done it, and I am here to help you and to walk this out with you, changing our mindset and looking at it as we're spending an hour showering people with love. And my team is on board, like I said, and so this is how it's going to work for us. I put together a point system. So everybody will be working on the same point system. So you get some points for text messages, you get some points for social media engagements. It depends on what it is, because obviously, I'm not going to hand out as many points if you're just messaging happy birthday on somebody's Facebook post. That's like a half a point. However, if you're sending a birthday card, if you're adding maybe like a lottery ticket, right, that's going to be worth more points because it's going to have more impact. So everybody's going to be working off of the same point system, and we're going to do 30 days of this. And I don't know, I hope, my fingers are crossed, that after my team sees how great this is for 30 days, maybe we just keep it going. Maybe we start doing quarterly challenges or whatever. But for now, I'm just excited that my team's on board. They love the idea. And really, my goal for this exercise is, yes, to help them fill their pipelines, make it a little bit fun, make it a little bit of a competition. There's going to be a small buy-in, so there's a reward at the end for the winner, all of the things. But my ultimate goal, my sneaky, sly, hidden agenda, is to really help my team of agents become people who get to shower other people with love and kindness and just put out all kinds of good, fun energy into the world as part of their day-to-day job. Because how amazing is that? What a privilege it is to be just a love dealer, a kindness dealer. And that's what we're going to do. And so it's really simple. All you have to do is commit to a start date, put 30 days on the calendar, find a few people that want to do this. These do not need to be people on a team of yours or in a brokerage of yours, even like just find some other agents that are like-minded and see if they want to put together a pool of money and a little bit of an accountability partnership and start putting this love out into the world, because we get a lot of bad rap as real estate agents. This is one of those little things that we can do to actually make a difference in the world. Let's go out and change the industry. Let's show people that we are not out there trying to just steal money from people, that we are actually people that want to shower people with love and help people and support people and pull people up, even when we don't get a paycheck from them. And when we go into the world like that, the energy that we are putting out, it comes back to us. And I like to think that it comes back to us tenfold. And so I'm really excited for this experiment, I guess it is, and this challenge and this activity that I'm doing with my team. And I really want to encourage you to do this, because I talk about engagements all the time, but I realize that people don't get it. Engagements are hard. We overthink them. We expect that when we send 5 text messages out, that we should have 5 new clients in our pipeline within a week's time. And that is just not the way that it works. But I will tell you this, if you start this challenge today or on Monday, whatever day of the week you're listening to this, find a few agents in your office or in your market or even across the country. It could be, you could pick agents from anywhere in the world to do this with. Find a few people, start it on Monday, commit to 30 days. There's literally no loss. This is a 100% risk-free challenge, because at the end of the day, the very worst thing that could happen is that you don't add a client to your pipeline after 30 days, which I would be shocked if that actually was true. But think about it. You could touch 30 people, bare minimum. I mean, because if we're going to give points to Facebook messages, we should be able to get to like 30 a day. But you could easily just bring some sunlight, some sunshine into some people's lives, into some people's worlds, and in a time that is absolutely necessary. People are so scared. They are so self-consumed with their opinions and their positions of the politics that are going on and all the things, that there's just not a lot of people putting a lot of lovely things out there, positive vibes, and that's what we need more of. And let's use our industry to be the leaders in that, shall we? I mean, what an incredible opportunity. So here's the deal. If you want my point system, reach out. I'm happy to share that with you. Find a few people and start this love challenge, is what I'm calling it. And it is simply to love on as many people as you possibly can in the next 30 days. I was inspired by Valentine's Day, but I have a feeling that this love challenge is going to be year-long. We're going to be doing this. So I hope that you love this idea. I hope that it helps you shift your mindset a little bit around engagements. That's the biggest reason I'm honestly doing it, because I want us to remember that engagements are just about building relationships. That's it. They are not intended to be a one-to-one. Like you text one person, you get one response back saying, yes, how did you know I want to buy or sell? Like that is just not how it works. So I really wanted to help you just change your mindset around that and then get into some action, because ultimately that's what we need to be doing. And it's February. It's perfect timing for this. So I would love to hear if you're doing this challenge. Please reach out. Let me know if you are all in. I will be cheering you on. And who knows, maybe you'll even be hearing from some of our agents because we are hitting the ground running. So thank you so much for listening. I hope to hear from you, and we'll see you again next time on the Agent Mentor Podcast. Have a great day.